Welcome to Sensory Chronicles. Let's go straight to the point today. I would love to introduce you to and emphasize the importance of sensory processing. Ayres sensory integration is a theory founded by Dr. Jane Ayres, an American occupational therapist and psychologist in the 1970s. She said that this is a process in which our brains receive sensory information from the environment and our bodies through the receptors that we have. Then the brain processes and interprets this information and uses it to adapt to the environment or to do some planned action or purposeful activity. We also use this term for intervention. So, what are the 8 senses? Yeah, we have 8 of them. Well, we receive some sensory input from the environment, like the auditory, visual, olfactory, gustatory, and tactile. And then we receive some information from within our bodies, like vestibular, proprioceptive, and interoceptive. While most of us are well familiarized with a few sensory systems, there are these less known ones which I find to be super important. Those would be the vestibular and the proprioceptive ones. Along with the tactile system, they make the most important 3. So, why are they so important and how do they affect our lives? Well, you might be aware how all of us have some kind of preferences and differences. Some people are car sick and others are not. Some people like rotating a lot, while others get dizzy straight away. You might know some people who get really annoyed or frustrated when someone comes too close into their personal space or touches them, unannounced or suddenly. So how your brain processes sensory information affects your arousal levels, your capacity to adapt to the environment, your regulation and behavior, and how you learn, and how you then use that information. So, being able to organize and regulate reactions to sensory input in a graded and adaptive way is how Champagne defines sensory modulation. It's one of the difficulties within sensory integration kids can experience. Other researchers and authors, such as May Benson and Schaaf, use these definitions. Sensory modulation refers to over or under responsiveness to typical levels of sensation. Or, sensory modulation also refers to the neurological process of assessing sensory inputs for relevance and justifying the nervous system's response to those inputs. Generally speaking about modulation, a child may be overly reactive to certain stimuli or underreactive. Some can even be sensory seeking. So let me explain that a little bit more using proprioceptive and vestibular systems as examples. Proprioceptive system tells us where our body parts are. Where is one part of our body in regards to the other part? Where are we in regards to the environment? And how much strength we use. It has a really important role in our behavior regulation as well, as research from 2012 shows. And I put a link to that research article in the description below, so you might want to check that out. Well, in terms of proprioception, we can see kids mainly being very active, wanting to jump, wanting to run, jump onto the couch, or, they run and then throw themselves into couch cushions, or going behind the couch, other narrow spaces like under chairs or under your dining table or into your closet or some kind of cupboard. They will want to change their positions more, especially if they're doing some kind of very calm task, let's say at a desk. Then you will see that they're leaning their wrists or palms right on the desk and then they kind of squeeze them. You will see that they don't really know the boundaries of their bodies. So, they're walking somewhere and then they just kind of hit something by mistake. Or they will accidentally knock something down. Feels like they don't really know the boundaries, right? So that's proprioceptive system. And these are their usual behaviors that we see. Especially when somebody's underreactive, So moving on to the vestibular system. That is triggered with a change in the head position. So it tells us about the position of our head relative to the Earth's gravity. It tells us about body orientation, balance, motion, and so on. As the Lithuanian authors said, it plays a crucial role in relationship of the Earth's gravity and the physical world. So we needed to stay upright and move through our environment. And in terms of vestibular overreactivity, sometimes also called gravitational insecurity, we can see kids being more static, not wanting to move so much, or being super careful when coming down or off of something, or trying to climb up something. They will probably not want to go onto that slide, especially if you need to climb really high up and then go on a slide. There's the little platform where kids kind of gather around, and then one by one they go down the slide. So if there's a lot of kids on that platform, that overly sensitive child is not going to go up in terms of vestibular system. They would be a little bit reluctant to go up. So they will probably wait it out and wait until all the kids went down, or most of the kids went down. And then when the situation is a bit safer, they'll go up. Because they don't want to be, they don't want somebody to push them suddenly. They will actually walk across obstacles on all fours. Some of the kids, obviously, not all. They will rather use their whole surface, like the whole surface of their bodies to cross over some obstacle or some challenging space. Because, the base of your two little feet is as small as your two little feet. And when you're on all your fours, then it's a little bit wider surface, right? Your base is wider, so you feel more safe. And then on the other hand, we have those kids who like moving all the time, and they want to put their heads in different positions, even if it means upside down. I know a kid who's watching cartoons and TV while sitting on a couch, but upside down. So his head is down. And those kids, they really want to rotate and swing a lot, mainly, generally speaking, obviously, not all, literally all. And then they do want to walk over unstable surfaces. And actually, I know some kids who really like jumping on those unstable surfaces. So those are some, interesting and common behaviors considering vestibular system and being either overly reactive to vestibular system or input and under reactive to vestibular input. And then we have the tactile system. Considering tactile system as a third important system, and then again we can observe behaviors either as overly or under reactive. If we want to talk about tactile defensiveness, those will be the kids who don't like to be touched too much, or they don't really like when other child holds their hands. When they need to kind of sing in a circle, and then at some point they have to hold hands with other kids around them, so they will not enjoy that. Or when somebody touches them unannounced or suddenly, or they don't really want to get their hands dirty with foam, sand, Play-Doh. They might show some discomfort even if they spill a few drops of water on their clothes. They'll also show discomfort while brushing their teeth, washing their hands or hair, having their hair cut, and cutting their nails. I know a boy, and he verbalized this to me, that he actually feels pain while having his hair cut, and when his parents are cutting his nails. On the other hand, again, you might already be concluding that we have those kids who really enjoy messy play. And they enjoy coloring, with their fingers, those finger colors. They enjoy doing that. Playing with foam and soap, putting stuff on their bodies. And they just really seem to be wanting to touch everything and everybody. Yeah, so that's the opposite, right? So, to conclude, I've heard so many times, parents coming to me and then they're saying that, their kid is in the kindergarten or school and already being labeled as clumsy or inattentive or aggressive. Aggressive is a very common one, actually. And then the one who doesn't seem to be interested, the one who spaces out a lot, the wiggly one, this kind, that kind. So some kids can hear these descriptions of themselves so many times a day and, a week. It doesn't matter. they hear it that many times that they actually start believing that about themselves. And ultimately, they kind of even become that. I'm the clumsy one, ha ha ha. So, I would love to raise awareness about sensory processing and its importance so kids can get the support they need and not to be labeled like this. So if you would like to help me with that, how about you hit that subscribe button, like the video, share it, let me know if it was helpful or if you find any other topic helpful and we can discuss that. And, while sharing this video, you're kind of helping also the kids around in your community. So please do that. And let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you.